My name is Jeff Manian. I invented Email Pro. Thanks for coming to the second ever live performance of Email Pro. Is there anybody here who is not an Email Pro? Okay. All right, a couple hands. Oh, I love that when that happens. All right, so it's a little hard to explain. But basically, it's like this email program that you can sign up for, or sometimes like your friends might sign up for it, and then you just start getting emails from me, and then it's just your problem. Emails just come, and like you have to deal with it. But we're going to talk about it more. And at the end of the show, if you want to sign up, just come up and talk to me and get you involved. Right, so tonight is the Email Pro Performance. We're doing a couple of things. I have a written statement that I'm going to give. We're going to have a question and answer session. We're going to write some emails together. And then also, there's going to be this like Gmail masterclass. So that's going to be good. But first is this written statement that I've been working really hard on, that I was working on even today. So this is the Email Pro written statement. When I was a sophomore in college, I took a beginner level art class. And there were a lot of students in it. But the only dudes were me and one other guy. And one day, while we were all sitting around mixing paint colors, the other guy said, "The human body starts to hallucinate after 5 days of no sleep." And I was thinking, oh great, here we go. I was hoping nobody would take the bait. But this was early in the term, nobody knew anybody yet, and also nobody wanted to sit there in silence and just mix paint. People wanted to have conversations, and this guy with his cryptic message was all we had. So somebody said, "How do you know that?" And the guy said, "It happened to me on a film set." And then somebody said, "Wow, how come?" And he said, "Because they kept needing me to do all this stuff." And at this point, I broke my own rule and asked him a question. I figured we were in it now, the train had left the station, might as well get to the heart of the matter. So I said, "Why?" And the guy looked at me and said, "Because I basically know everything about film." And for the next 2.5 years, every time I saw that guy around campus, at the gym or whatever, I thought to myself, that's the guy who said I basically know everything about film. And because it was college, and I was single, I became preoccupied with the question of whether everyone agreed with me that this dude was pretentious and terrible. But I never asked anyone if they thought that. I didn't want to talk about him and give him the benefit of being talked about. I didn't want to boost his SEO or whatever. So I never actually found out what people thought. I just wondered about it and became agitated. Because back on that first day of class, it had been unclear what my classmates were thinking. Nobody said to him, "Who the fuck are you?" Not even me. We all just sat there and listened to him hold court about the 5 days of no sleep on the film set. And looking back, I get why we did that. It was easier than taking it on. It was easier than saying, "You gotta stop talking until you completely change everything about your personality." But at the time, just sitting there and listening to him, that felt like more than he deserved. I wondered how many of the chicks in the class were thinking, okay, this guy's sort of interesting. Because some of them were actually thinking that. Like, what if it's this guy's world? This became the permanent concern for me. What if the world belongs to the people who introduce themselves by saying, "I basically know everything about film"? Like, what if the people who say that on average find that they get to keep talking afterward? What if it's a viable strategy? What are we going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? When I was in college, the answer to that question was to start buying my clothes at a military surplus store. Also, I played guitar, and I started a band that played pretty heavy rock music. I was obsessed with being artistic, but also macho and real. I thought I was an equal opposite force to that guy and his pretensions. I bought a giant punching bag and hung it in the basement. Sometimes me and my friends would put on boxing gloves and take turns punching each other in the face. I would do that and think to myself, this proves that I am not a pretentious dipshit. I'm not saying anyone else thought that. I'm just telling you what was going on. Also, I decided I thought being from New Jersey was cool. That became a source of authenticity that I wanted to shove in everyone's face. So for instance, I started using a huge amount of hair gel all the time. I would slick back my hair like I was on The Sopranos. And then one night, during the summer after sophomore year, I drove 100 miles an hour on the Garden State Parkway. I was by myself, I just decided to do it. And while it was happening, Cowboys from Hell by Pantera came on the radio. And then, as that was playing, the last 3 digits on the mile counter of my car rolled over to 666. And I took these events as a sign that my entire understanding of life was correct. I'm doing it, I said to myself. It's all happening. When I got back to school in the fall, my friend Chris wanted to sign up for this music class about the blues, and he tried to get me to take it with him. At first, I wasn't super into it. I felt like I'd already covered the blues from taking a million guitar lessons as a teenager. But then I thought, maybe this class would have some good stuff in it about the early days of 666 and about keeping it real. I sensed that the blues was unpretentious, and that was starting to become my whole religion. Also, Chris said that he'd heard the course was easy. So I went to the first class, and the professor said, "Don't take this class if you think it's an easy A." After the class, Chris said, "Listen, it's definitely easy." And I said, "But the professor said that thing." And Chris said, "That's how you know it's easy." Do you think they would say anything like that in a real course with math and stuff? That was enough to convince me. So I signed up for the blues with 2 dangerous assumptions. 1, that I already understood the blues from playing rock music, and 2, that this would be an easy course. And the crucial piece of evidence here was that the professor said it would not be an easy course. The grade in the blues was based on 1 midterm and one final. That was it. Musical ability was not tested whatsoever. So like the fact that I could play did not matter. The tests were the old school kind, which is to say they were tests of knowledge. And when we got to the midterm, it turned out to be that classic scenario from Nightmares. As the professor handed out the exams, the students all shook their heads and laughed when they got it. And when I got mine, I saw why. We were all doomed. We were all doomed. The first question was, what's Howlin' Wolf's real name? No one knew that. Was that from class notes? Was that in the reading? No one even knew if there was reading. We just came to class and listened to the professor play blues records and rhapsodize about the meaning of the blues. Sometimes he would demonstrate stuff on an acoustic guitar. He wasn't that good. We thought the whole class was just a vibe. No one knew what Howlin' Wolf's real name was. The second question was, what year was Bessie Smith born? I had no idea. At this point, I realized I was about to flunk a midterm at an Ivy League school that I worked really hard to get into. Did that count as having the blues? Then the midterm had a listening section, and the professor played an archival recording of Blind Lemon Jefferson strumming a 1-string guitar and muttering incoherently. And we were supposed to transcribe the lyrics. In the world of impossible tests, this was some next-level shit. When the final came around, I tried to study better, but I had a not great attitude. It was probably impossible to get a B at this point, and I didn't have the honor student pride that was usually at my back. The goal was simply not to fail. It was like jumping out of a plane and being told, see if you can crash land and break your own legs so that you're not instantly killed on impact. I studied in that spirit. I got a C for the course. And part of me wondered if that messed up my ability to walk around like a real dude. I had once judged the guy for saying I basically know everything about film, and my judgment had been harsh. I had decided it was unforgivable to say that. But when I signed up for the class, I sort of assumed that I basically knew everything about the blues. So what if I was actually the kind of dipshit I thought I hated? But like I said, only part of me was having those thoughts. The other part of me was thinking, hey Chris, fuck you. It's your fault for dragging me into this. So like instead of blaming myself, I was blaming another person. And sometimes, in order to entertain myself, I would send Chris an annoying email. For instance, here's one from several years ago. Dear Chris, what are you doing to end childhood obesity? Not enough. That was the entire email. Chris never wrote back, and I was okay with that. It felt cathartic just to send him an email and harass him a little bit for no reason. Something about that made it possible for me to go forward with my life. So I kept going forward. I graduated from college, and my band relocated to New York City, and at one of those first shows, the headliner was a guy who said the purpose of his band was to help people get in touch with their human condition. I remember hearing him say that in the green room and rolling my eyes. It was like that day in art class with the other dude. What if this shit never ends, I thought. Like seriously, what am I supposed to do if this shit never ends? The guy who said his band helps people get in touch with their human condition sold out the Highline Ballroom. I know, dude. He covered himself in black body paint and walked around the stage with his arms out like Jesus Christ. And it seemed like people were enjoying it. Once again, I wondered if I had a duty to oppose this guy who was saying, I basically know everything about the human condition. Half of me felt like I was already doing my part. I had my own band, our shows were going pretty well, and nobody in my group gave the audience shitty lectures in between songs. We were trying to be the change we wanted to see in the world. But human condition still had me spooked. I worried that I wasn't doing enough to depose him. Or sometimes, I worried that I was supposed to get over it. Maybe the world is full of these dudes, and I gotta stop crying about it. Maybe I just gotta get tough. And for me, getting tough means sending hostile emails to Chris out of the blue. Here is I sent from this period. Dear Chris, I went to the mall yesterday where they let you print your own t-shirts. I got one that says, if assholes could fly, this place would be an airport. And guess what? Chris Duffy is a dead man. Dear Chris, just want to let you know, I always get complimented when I wear my t-shirt that says, I'm out of bed and dressed, what more do you want? Also, Chris Duffy has 24 hours to live. Dear Chris, today I won another Grammy for my t-shirt design that says, I'm kind of a big deal. Unfortunately, Chris Duffy's life ends today. Rest in peace, Chris Duffy, who's about to die. Dear Chris, I have become a multimillionaire because I started my own business selling t-shirts that say, just going to take a second, deal with that. You good?
Yeah.
Dear Chris, I have become a multimillionaire because I started my own business selling t-shirts that say, I'm not lazy, I just enjoy doing nothing. However, I will be attending Chris Duffy's funeral, which is tomorrow. Because he's dead. For most of my 20s, that was my coping mechanism. Generally, I felt like things were going my way. I liked my band, I liked my girlfriend, and so forth. But every once in a while, something would rock my world. I would hear the Lumineers on the radio, and I would think, why the fuck is this the thing? Or sometimes I would see a picture of myself, and my hair gel would look ridiculous and extreme. And it would be clear that I was overdoing it, and in those moments I would question everything. But instead of confronting the possibility that all my problems were just some uptight bullshit I made up, I would fire off an email to Chris. Then I would resume going through my life with the notion that I was not full of shit, and that the prophecy of the Garden State Parkway was still a real thing. But then, at the end of 2014, my band broke up, and I started working full-time in an office as a copy editor. I spent my days fixing other people's grammar mistakes. Nobody knew or cared that I had been in a band. Nobody knew or cared that I once shook hands with Mike Tyson, or that I'd watched every episode of The Sopranos 3 times, or that I'd read the autobiography of David Lee Roth 7 times. I felt like my life's work was starting to unravel. So I got through the days by sending emails to Chris and mutual friends of ours. I would take turns putting people on BCC. I was no longer trying to entertain myself by being weirdly aggressive to Chris. I had no idea what I was trying to do, in fact. but the emails started to get more bizarre. Dear Chris, I want to invent a version of a Roomba that's like a urinal on wheels. So anytime I need to go pee-pee, the Roomba can just come over to me and I can pee directly into it. I'm guessing it could be remote controlled via Bluetooth. If not, then just whatever a urinal typically uses for internet. And then, like as a bonus round, I would piss into my own mouth. Thanks, Chris. Please do this for me. Those emails became part of my daily routine. The people in my life would ask me if I was going to start a new band, and I said yes, but I had no idea. People asked me if I liked working in an office, and I said sure, but I had no idea. Sometimes Chris would ask me if I was ever going to do something productive with my email bullshit. Actually, he called it my cyberbullying campaign. And I said I didn't know. All I knew was that the emails got me through the day. I wasn't sure how they fit into my vision of myself yet, but I went somewhere when I wrote them. I don't want to say I was getting in touch with my human condition, but I was getting in touch with something. For instance, Dear Chris, I'm developing a new podcast which is titled Snowed In with Snowden. The way it works is that I kidnap Edward Snowden, and then we get stuck in a Howard Johnson's motel together during a blizzard. He's not happy, and I live stream our conversations without his knowledge. When he finds out, he gets even more upset, but I say, actually, this is just another radical transparency which you invented, so much love to your family, bro. Okay, then we have to survive in the Howard Johnsons together. Mostly we subsist on Nantucket nectars and mini muffins. I get Snowden to like me by changing my name to Xfinity. By the end of the podcast, we have turned the motel into a rogue nation state. Snowden says to me, thank you for being incredibly helpful. I love your profound courage and grace. At this point, my name is Xfinity, so I can do whatever I want. Nothing can hurt me now. When shit doesn't work out, just say fuck it and go numb, I guess. Also, I have developed a severe addiction to Nantucket nectars. Please be considerate about this going forward. Signed, Xfinity. By the spring of 2006, I was ready to expand my email distribution list. I had acquired a taste for writing emails that, in my mind, were coming from the voice of that kid in art class who said, I basically know everything about film. He who had once irritated me, now fascinated me, and the two of us merged. I was channeling him on a daily basis. As Marquis de Sade wrote many years ago, there is no greater love than a conquered repugnance. I was having an email version of that, and I wanted to share it. So I asked Chris and some of my other friends to give me the email addresses of people they know. And then I started sending emails to strangers. Here's one from April of last year. Dear Joanna, Pat Manian signed you up to receive emails from me. I'm starting a subscription-based email business, which is called Email Pro. Ha ha ha, it's literally that easy. Since we never met, I wanted to tell you a little about myself. My social security number is 666-0001. 987-234-601. 6-3232-3232. The extra digits are because it's a designer social that I got during my career as a media insider. I exist only in real time. I never heard from Joanna, but she did write to Pat, and since he's my friend, he forwarded me her email. Subject: you've been hacked, bro. Yeah. Just got an email from Ivan saying you gave him my info, and then he gave me his social security number, which was like 20 digits long. Some shit is mining your data, heads up. Okay, so that's a pretty typical response. Over time, I started writing emails to hundreds of people, and a lot of them react with some version of what the fuck. But the emails keep coming, and I guess everybody sort of learns what's happening. Like Joanna, 54% of my subscribers have never written back to me. They just receive my emails quietly without unsubscribing. But some of them do write back. Here's an email I got from someone I've never met in my life. Ivan, never underestimate the 65th avatar of Dark Master, Tim Allen. After thorough research, travel, and intimate conversations within certain circles, I learned the truth. The term tool time actually is a tribute to the first humans to discover the value of / adaptation to the use of materials. With this knowledge, I was compelled to explore the ancient caves of Michigan. My intuition paid off. I discovered thousands of paintings of a family who was led by a father. Many of the pictures had broken tables / objects that couldn't seem to be fixed by that very father. Also, the number 65 was everywhere. With this, I'd like to change my password to Timothy_Allen_65 or Binford_Cave_paintings_65. Let me know. So as you can see, some people really connect with the language. Sometimes it just clicks. I have one subscriber who signed up through my Craigslist ad who replies to every email I send, regardless of what it says, with a single smiley face. She's the only member of Email Pro with 100% reply percent. Of course, not everyone gets it. 15% of people unsubscribe from Email Pro. I try to make it easy for people to do this. There's an unsubscribe link at the bottom of every email I send, and I added a thing where people can say why they're unsubscribing. Most people ignore that, but sometimes they fill it out and say things like, hate it. One person said, too many weird emails. And I thought that was kind of funny because his reason for leaving is just a description of what Email Pro is. But for the most part, people seem okay with it. 70% of my subscribers are from referrals. The business, which is not a business that makes no money, is growing. And for me, I've come to depend on writing the emails. They feel like a healthy source of insanity. Like I've become a person who might say, I basically know everything about email. It just feels right. This is my life now. This is who I am now. And so for this next segment, I want to show you what it's like to write an email. Dude, password. You gotta put in the password. Alright, so what we're doing now, password time. I'm gonna enroll some people in Email Pro. I've gotten like some referrals from people that I haven't acted on yet. So we're just gonna write to some of those people and just have them deal with it. Can we switch to the lighting situation number 2? Yes. Okay, thanks. So this is my Email Pro office. Oh right, okay. So this is my Craigslist ad. It's listed under activity partners. Is there anybody here who is got to Email Pro from Craigslist? No one? Say something. Okay, all right. No Craigslist people. The ad says, hi, I invented a new art form using emails. You can receive emails from me directly into your inbox. The emails contain coded information, aka holograms. Reply to the emails or delete them as you see fit. There's so much to talk about. This is completely real. Reply to this Craigslist ad to begin. Spoiler alert, I was supposed to return to Hologram Island, and then I discovered it was in my inbox. Do not contact your unsolicited services. I didn't write that, but that's very much something I would write after telling people to contact me. Okay, so what we're going to do now, this is Email Pro. That's an I emailed myself the written statement, just in case. Alright, so I've got a bunch of drafts. Here's the thing. The live stream works, right? This is being live streamed? Mm-hmm. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I little bit, actually kind of don't want to give people's email address away, because I feel like Email Pro is, already so hostile that I, a little bit want to be nice to people with their privacy. So I'm going to write an email, but I'm not going to type a real thing there. You can see that, right? You can see this? So for instance, I have one Email Pro person who came to me from Craigslist who then signed up someone, and she said his name was Sands, or Zands. So that's who we're writing to, and I'll put in his email address later. Also, just want to add that the Craigslist thing is hard because it starts with, you guys know how Craigslist works? Like you post something and then people write to you, but you don't see their email address. It's like through Craigslist. So I get these people from Email Pro, and the whole thing is happening through Craigslist Relay. And at some point, if I want to get their email address, I have to write to them and explain like, "Hi, please give me your real email address so I can have that." And I lose a lot of people on that stuff. But some of them are like, okay, sure. So then I had the real email. So one person named Michelle did that step, which is like already elite, and then she filled out my referral thing and gave me an email address to some guy who she says his name is Zands. The thing is, like, this is some chick on Craigslist. I don't know anything. So, like, maybe she's like friends with the Zands, or like maybe that's just not his name. Like maybe his name is like Terry, and she's just like gets email. So, all right, so we're writing to Zands. Dear Zands, okay, my name is Ivan. Also, just something. So, dude, what is this? This Mac can't connect to iCloud because of the problem with federal.elizabeth@gmail.com. Who the fuck uses iCloud? Jeff, do you use iCloud? Sort of. My entire life experience with iCloud is like, boop, failure to sync with iCloud, log into iCloud to fix it. So is that what you do with iCloud? What's like one thing that's not bad that you do with iCloud?
Well, like Apple's whole cloud thing is iCloud, so you know.
Yeah, but what is that even?
If you have an iPhone, iMessage is part of it.
Okay, then
People know what I'm talking about.
yes, I don't have an iPhone. I have a flip phone, so that was meaningless to me what you just said. Okay, so you're telling me that like your iPhone, there's like content on your iPhone that you have to put in iCloud.
Sure.
But why couldn't you just put it in like Google Drive or something?
You could do that too.
Right.
I don't put files on iCloud, but you could do that.
So what was something you would put in iCloud?
You could have your contacts like sync through that.
Oh, do people do that? Like they have like some shitty like contact program?
Sure.
Well, I know computers have it, but like that's just genius, right? Like you just start typing emails.
Mac has one too.
I know. I used it when I was like in 10th grade. I got my girlfriend's number. That was it. It was just my girlfriend. I was like, that's right. Got one. But like, seriously, why would a person use a contact application in the world where like Gmail instantly knows everything? I'm really asking.
Yes, some people don't like Google. That's a reason.
Oh, because like privacy or something?
Sure.
But why is iCloud better than?
Or like some people, Apple gets the hooks, and some people, and then they use Apple.
Oh, that's like older people though. Do you guys know, like, you ever see someone's email address that's like, this is my name at mac.com, and there's no, that was like 65. Like my mom's email is like my mom's name at roadrunner.nyc. And nobody with that email address was born after 1950. There's just no way. Okay. So you're saying it's more cloud shit for people who don't have cloud. It's Apple's cloud. Alright, well I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. Alright, back to this email. Dear Zands, my name is iCloud. Let's go with that. Also, one last point. So when you're enrolled in Email Pro, the first email you get is unique. I don't know if people realize that, but like the people who are in Email Pro, like when you just got an email from me, it was like, hey, now this is your problem. My name's Ivan. No one else ever got that. I just wrote that just for you. In a lot of cases, I didn't know who I was talking to, so I just made up some weird shit. But I make up different weird shit every time. So here we go. Dear Saints, my name is iCloud. I got your information from a person on Craigslist that I had never met in my life. One thing I like to do with the intro emails too is like say stuff that's actually true that sounds like it could not possibly be true. So this is an example of that. And we'll do more like that. I started a business called Email Pro. Also true.
LLC?
Say it again?
LLC?
LLC, that's a good point. The business is not an LLC. This is an ongoing source of confusion. Okay, does anyone have anything they want to tell Zans? Look, I know it's not easy, but I have to do this shit every day. Like, I got a lot of subscribers now. People want the fucking emails. It's hard. The business is not an LLC. This is not a source of confusion. Okay, I like to write the emails because it makes me feel superior to people I went to college with.
Ask him a question.
Ask him a question.
I got his name down.
I see your name is Zans. I have mixed feelings about it. I mean, I do, because on the one hand, I'm like, all right, it's your name. Who could possibly have a problem with that? On the other hand, I do have a problem with that.
You should write that.
Okay. All right. What did I just say? On the one hand.
On the one.
On the one. It's your name, dude.
Could be a woman.
Yes, that's right. This is 2017. Email Pro is living in the present. It's your name,
Bro.
Person.
Yeah, but on the other hand, like chicks is dudes now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're here now. This is the world. It's your name, dude. Who could possibly have a problem? I'm not going to finish the other. I don't want to say that. I mean, it's already clear that I'm like a little bit having a problem. Okay, let's review. Dear Zans. Dear Zans, my name is Zach Cled. I got your information from the person I've that I've never met in my life. True. I started a business called Email Pro. The business is not an LLC. This is an ongoing source of confusion. I like to write the emails. Well, I didn't really write this one well. I like to write the emails that makes feel superior to people on the market. I'm not changing that. I'm not changing that. I see your name is Zans. I have mixed feelings about it. I'm the one. It's your name, you could possibly have. Right, I mean, I feel good. This is like an email. This is like, that's enough for this guy. But then also there's like the service part. Like, I feel like I have to, I tell people that they can unsubscribe. You can unsubscribe at any time. I try to be like conscientious to be unsubscribed because there was actually this unsubscribe scandal earlier in the year, which is that the unsubscribe link at the bottom. You see how there's this unsubscribe link at the bottom of the email? That's a Google form that people fill out. So I put it there, and people were filling it out, but I didn't know that I didn't check the box that says, like, get notified when people fill it out. So people filled it out, and I didn't get notified, and I didn't know they were filling it out. So I would just keep sending them all these emails. And then, after a couple of weeks, someone told me that the link was broken. And so I clicked on the link, and it took me to the form. So I was like, it's not broken. So I just kept sending them emails for like months. And then someone just sent me emails like, I don't know what this is. I don't know how I got signed up for this. Please unsubscribe me. So at that point, that's when I realized the form was broken. So I checked the box. But I actually like messed up and like checked it like an even number of times or something because there was like a whole other month when I thought I'd fixed it and more people filled it out and they just kept getting the emails. And it was like I felt bad, like I'm sure they thought I was just picking on them because like every email was like, oh, you want to unsubscribe? Click here to unsubscribe. And they would fill out, like when I finally figured it out, people had filled it out the same, over and over and over again, the same person. So at that point I was like, maybe I should apologize, but then I was like, I'm just going to never contact again. So I felt bad that I like harassed all those people and then thought I fixed it and just continued to harass them. So from now on, I just try to tell people that they can unsubscribe right away. All right, I'm happy with Zan's. Let's just do another one. I'm going to send it later with the... Oh, no, here's something else I want to do. Right, okay, we're going to write another email. But Jeff, you were talking to me about keyboard shortcuts in Gmail. So this is, I don't know a ton about this, but this is going to be like a master class where all of us like write an entire email not using the trackpad. I see how I'm like using the trackpad right now? We're not doing that. It is possible to do this with no trackpad or no click, right? Okay, alright, so talk to me about it.
Well, first you gotta make sure you have keyboard shortcuts turned on.
Oh, fuck. And you need the trackpad for that. So there's no way to like get to that? Just
No,
so
you can't get past that part.
Oh shit, okay. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. Also, like, please don't, this is my mom's email, right? So, like, don't, like, this is going on the live stream, my mom's email's on the live stream now, like, I know I was mean to the people who didn't unsubscribe, but you guys have to be nice to me now. Everybody has to be nice to me now and not use my mom's email address. Okay, and then the other thing is that I'm not going to unsubscribe my mom, it's just not going to happen.
Is that an important Chipotle update?
Oh yeah, alright. Well, hold on. I mean, we'll get to Chipotle. That's coming. Also, just full disclosure, since now my mom's emails in there. This is Jeff's girlfriend. How do I get back to this? How do I get back to the contact? Courtney is Jeff's girlfriend. That was her face. That was Courtney's face.
Email.
How do I see her name?
Email address.
How do I? Oh, there was the face. That's the Jeff Courtney. So like. You guys want to fuck with my mom's email address? I'm going to dox your face. That's Courtney's face.
And your email.
And her email. Right? It's a Gmail. It's not nyc.rr. To be fair, I'll talk about why I'm not going to subscribe to my mom. Let me just have this one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already telling you guys, like, why I made it up, and, like, the guy from college who freaks me out, and then the other guy who freaks me out, and then, like, no mom's allowed, you know what I'm saying? I write the emails in front of you guys, I'm, like, trying to be macho and real all the time, like, mom, no mom. I already get emails from my mom, she's like, hi. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that every day. I'm like, hi, Mom. Thanks, I love you, bye. Like, that's enough. We're not bringing her into this spreadsheet. I've been trying to unsubscribe from my mom's email for a while. I'm your only son. I gotta be nice to her. I can't do that. Okay, what was the other thing? Chipotle? Who was talking about Chipotle? Alright, so one of my subscribers, look, Max, can I open your email?
Yeah.
I know you're sitting there. You're cool to have this happen. All right. One of my subscribers sent me this article. It's about how like, people are shitting blood from Chipotle. The reason someone sent this to me is that the first time I ever did stand-up. So some of you know Chris Duffy is my friend who like I started because I was messing with him. He's a stand-up comedian and he has this thing where someone who's never done stand-up can go do stand-up for the first time. So that's how I did it for the first time. And my whole bit was just about how Chipotle makes you shit blood. And I'm going to keep going to Chipotle. Like, something worse than shitting blood has to happen for me to not eat that $10 so as you can see, like, I grew past that, and email pro happened, which people like more than the shitting blood jokes. Right, okay, so we're going back to writing an email. We have to unlock the shortcuts. Right?
Click the gear.
Click this.
Yeah.
If anyone has any questions at any time, just come in.
Settings.
Settings. Go on to settings. Loading the settings. Oh, this is already alive now.
Yeah, scroll down.
Okay.
That's too much. No, there
Nope.
it is. Go down. Yes, you
Keyboard shortcuts on.
Yeah.
Now, isn't there some like we just did that? Isn't there some like next level shit too after you do that, where you can like unlock more ones?
No, that's what this is.
That's what that is.
But there are more.
Oh, but there are some that work even without that.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. So are we done with this now?
And you have to save at the bottom. That's probably why your spreadsheet didn't work.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Alright, can we stop using trackpad now?
Sure, type a question mark.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Alright, this is meaningless to me now.
Scroll down a bit.
I can't do that.
Arrows.
Yeah,
Just do
arrows.
it.
No, I'm not doing it, dude.
Arrows.
Try the arrow.
Oh, dude, you should have known that. How come, like, Courtney knew that?
Oh, Cece.
Oh, CC, you knew that? Do you want to take over the tutorial?
I would love to,
You
but
can study this
okay.
in your spare time
Okay.
and learn them. But C is probably what you want. C for compose.
How do I leave this thing?
Escape.
Okay.
Try C.
C. Nice. Alright, tab. We know. Everyone knows about tab. Alright, so this is who am I going to write to this time? I'll just write, okay, some other guy. Welcome to email, bro. Alright, this email was written in front of a live studio audience. Again, like true facts. Also, this email was written using only keyboard commands. No trackpad. I am post trackpad. The name of this is Email Pro. I invented Email Pro. I invented keyboard shortcuts. All right, what's some other stuff we can tell this guy about keyboard shortcuts?
You want real stuff?
Give me like one real one. Oh, yeah, give me a boring one.
If you're in your inbox, you can use J and A to scroll up and down.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh, damn it. Trackpad. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody.
Delete it.
Definitely delete that. Okay,
Yeah.
Jeff, how do I do that?
You know, I'm not sure if you can delete, but if you hit escape, it will close. I think it will go in your drafts.
No, how do I get to, how do I create a bulleted list without clicking on it?
I'm not sure the answer to that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
gotta open the settings.
Yeah,
Question mark.
Question mark.
Try.
No, you can't do
Okay,
that.
alright, question mark. Wait, what, how do I escape?
Escape question mark.
Wait.
Yeah, do escape.
Oh,
and then,
no.
yeah,
Question.
I'm pushing
yeah,
question mark.
You gotta escape to get out of the search bar.
Okay, now question mark?
Yeah.
Dude, come on.
You're still in the search bar.
How am I still, I'm pushing escape over and over again.
Try it tab.
Now try.
Alright, tab.
Tab.
Oh, now what's that? Something happened.
Are you holding shift to hit question mark?
No.
Yeah, so you're hitting slash, which takes you to the search bar.
Oh, right. So now we've got, just tell me what do I do? Question mark, shift, question mark? Okay, alright.
list.
Okay, so now we're looking for, where's bulleted list? Does anyone see it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, there it is. Command Shift 8 bulleted list. This is going so well. Okay, alright. Escape, now I have to get back to the draft.
Yeah, hit G and then D to go to your draft.
Hold G, push T.
Push G and then D.
G, what D?
No, you waited too long, so you just did that was D.
Alright, so how do I get back to where I was?
Command W.
Probably.
Command W.
Tab.
Command W?
Tabs.
Yeah.
Just close the tab.
Okay, alright, so G do like faster than I
Yeah,
did.
faster. Okay. And now you hit O to open.
Oh.
That's it, right?
Oh,
Whoa.
okay, alright, tab. Going down. So what was the command?
Command shift 8.
Command Shift 8, right. Command Shift 8.
That's the bullet point.
Okay. We gotta tell the guy that we just did it. To create a bulleted list like this one, push Command Shift 8.
But you have to have your short key.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay, but you have to unlock keyboard shortcuts. There
We
is
gotta
no-
indent those.
Why?
Alright.
How do you indent? Like, what's
I
the...
think it's command right bracket.
Oh yeah, alright, okay, cool. There are no keyboard shortcuts for unlocking keyboard. I love your profound courage and grace. That's something like people just started saying that a couple years ago, and I just hated it. And so now that's just something I say in emails. How do I get back to the
Left bracket.
Yeah.
Command left bracket.
Nice. Yes. Use command bracket to create index. Alright, I mean at this point, I'm ready to start fucking with this guy with some fake shortcuts. Use command 666 to unlock demons. Use command use emails to become popular, successful, hair gel. Okay. I might be okay with this one. Let's review it. Welcome to Email Pro. This email is written in front of a live studio audience. Also, this email is written using only keyboard commands, no trackpad. I ain't post trackpad. The name of this is Email Pro. I invented Email Pro. I invented keyboard shortcuts. Here's a list of keyboard shortcuts. To create a bulleted list like this, don't push Command Shift 8, but you have to unlock keyboard shortcuts. There are no keyboard shortcuts for unlock keyboard shortcuts. Oh, you know what would be cool? Alright. All I did was move the cursor. I'm sorry, but that's not a real thing. How can we change the size? How do we change the size?
Command plus.
Command plus.
No, that's
Oh, no, that's like the screen.
You gotta check the key.
Alright, so how do we do that? Shift question mark?
Yeah, but you gotta hit escape to get out of
Oh. Alright. I'm better at it now.
Wait,
Yeah.
increase font
Command
size.
Shift plus.
Increase text size.
Command Shift 5.
Command Shift plus. Increase. Alright, thanks guys. Alright, GD.
You're already there, but
Oh, just push O?
you're highlighting the wrong one. See on the left is a little blue.
I do. Can I push up?
You have to hit K.
Oh, that's weird. Why is K up?
I don't know. Like, it comes from Emacs, which is the programmer's text editor.
Email Pro. Things of Email Pro you learn.
Sorry,
Alright, well, we learned it both ways. How do I do O? I just put O now? Okay, so now we're going.
Shift.
Shift tab.
Yeah.
Put a file in there.
How do we attach a file? This is someone else's computer. How do we attach a thing? I don't know.
Back out.
You guys want to do this, or is it like boring going back?
Increase text.
Let's do it. Shift question mark. Make attach. Does anyone see it?
You just tab onto it like you.
I just tab onto it.
And hit enter.
Okay, now how do I? Oh, right. Tab onto it.
Hit tab. And hit enter.
Enter?
Yeah.
Space.
Just pick a file.
Now what?
Now you got Tower of Babel.
Untitled 1
Adult functions.
Oh, fuck. Alright, Colin, can I just attach one of these things, or no?
Yeah, it's not my computer.
Well, game respects game, so cool. But isn't it like your friend's computer?
No, it's my partner's computer.
And so it's okay.
Yeah.
What are
Alright.
these Tumblr?
Do
Alright.
one with JPEG
Why don't
images.
you
Tower, Babel,
Yeah.
Google,
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
It's space
It's
preview.
space, yeah, it's space.
I hate, why do I hit
Space bar.
the preview?
Oh.
Preview it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we could get something
do better.
more problematic than that. I mean, we want something a little pro. What's this? Okay, is it alright if I look at stuff?
Yeah, I assume so.
I mean, I assume so too. But oh, yeah. That's the one. Okay, so now when I return.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, alright.
That's not the
Oh,
answer.
it's K. Oh. Alright. Let's go down.
You want to increase the text size.
Thank you, yes. Man, it's just the audience email pros. Okay.
No, Command
Well,
Shift
Command
plus.
Command Shift, thank you. You're my warning, Bill. There we go. I like that. We're just like shout it right now. Okay, one other thing I want to add. I am unable to explain the attachment. I have no idea who that is. You can unsubscribe anytime. Alright, that went really well. Alright, we'll start a new one. Does anyone have any questions? I mean, we'll do more emails, but does anyone, like I said, there will be a question and answer session. There's a question. Cece, there's a question.
I have an email etiquette question.
Oh, great.
And
Okay.
this is a true story
Yeah.
that happened to me today. Today, I emailed the customer service email of a website that I'm subscribed to, asking how I could change the email address that I'm subscribed to them on.
Uh-huh.
And the person who responded, her name was Eloise, and she replied, very customer service-y, very cheery, you know. And then she signed it Eloise, and in parentheses, the Eloise you went to high school with. Hi, great to hear from you. And then that was it. And then I responded, but I had a weird feeling about asking a customer service question of somebody I know personally. So what would you do in that scenario?
Oh man, alright. This is a great question. Do you know who that Eloise is?
Yeah.
Oh, so you do know.
Yeah.
It's not like some person you don't remember
No, she's a
Eloise
real
and now she's
person.
just talking to you like you went to high school with her? So you know who
I saw her
Eloise
at
is?
a reunion a month
I mean,
ago.
do you like Eloise?
Yeah, she's great.
Right, so you sort of feel like you gotta be like, oh, Eloise. So happy for you.
Follow-up question because her answer.
Right, you got some
wasn't right.
question that's like that the link's broken.
Yeah.
Eloise.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of feel like you gotta like be nice first, probably.
Mm.
Are you in touch with her? When was the reunion?
A month or so ago.
Oh, was that your 10-year reunion?
No, it was a non-year.
Oh, I've had my 10-year reunion. You guys like, no fucking way. don't talk to me about that. So, but you went. Well, that's good for you. Was it nice?
Yeah.
Okay. Is my high school there?
No.
But Eloise was there?
Yeah, she was there.
And so, I don't know, and how long ago was that?
A month or two ago.
You could be like, hey, Eloise, do you want to sign up for an email? Are you like happy with your email life? Are you getting what you wanted, Eloise? Do you think she would get it?
She's an artist, so.
So she would get it or no? Yeah, I don't know either. All right, why don't you say that could be like the nice thing? You could be like, dear Eloise, it's great to hear from you. You know, I loved our conversations at the reunion. I love your profound courage and grace. Why don't you sign an email? P.S. You know, the link was broken. WTF. Is that? I mean, you can change that. My feelings would be hurt, but I guess my real answer is like, yes, I agree with you that you can't just be like, okay, Eloise, fix it. Like you gotta talk about some Eloise bullshit. Thanks for the great question. Does anyone else have a question about Eloise from high school? John.
Well, not about.
Ask for Daddy's email.
Wait, what? Who are you talking to?
CC, yeah.
Alright, so question from Pat to CC. Ask for Eloise's dad's email?
Yeah.
And then what?
And email email him like he's the manager of the company.
Oh, that's funny. Do that. Be like, Mr. Eloise. I thought you should know. I asked a very reasonable customer service question, and your daughter did not help me. How bad was her not helping you?
It was like a copy paste from the Q&A on their website.
You knew that because you like already.
I'd already done that research, and it didn't help me.
Yeah, it's kind
It's
of.
kind of bad.
Oh, it's bad.
It's pretty bad. I didn't just write to her dad. She'd be like, listen. Shame on me. All right, back to John. What's your question?
Do you track open rates or click-throughs?
That's such a
On your
pro.
emails.
I would be so pro if I did that right. I know what you mean. I've talked to people about like the shit that lets you do that. Like, what's it called? Yesware is one. Or MailChimp, that's what. How many people here get Chris Duffy's email from us on Saturdays? Some of you guys, right?
Yeah.
I get them. Right, he uses MailChimp. Yeah, the answer is no. The thing is that like I have this crazy spreadsheet that I already created where I track like who writes back and who refers people and whether people fill out my surveys. Because you unlock stuff. Maybe some of you don't know that. After you get a certain number of emails, you unlock a survey, and if you fill out that survey, I note that, and the spreadsheet like calculates a score for every person based on how many times they wrote back, and how many referrals they made, and how many surveys they filled out. And then if that number gets past a certain thing, I have like weird PDFs that I send people and other things. They're like prizes. It was funny actually. So I did a contest for this show that no one won, but I asked everyone who had signed up, someone who unsubscribed, if they could get me an interview with the person who unsubscribed. And I interviewed some of those people, and I was like, why did you unsubscribe? And one guy had like written me a million emails and like signed people up and like did the fucking surveys. And in the survey, there's a question like, would you pay for Email Pro? And he was like, I pay a little bit. And then he unsubscribed. So I was like, all right, what's your problem? I didn't say that. I was like, thanks for taking my interview. Why did you unsubscribe? And he was like, you said I was going to unlock stuff, but there was no way for me to know what I was unlocking. And like, this is why I'm not in customer service. Because he unlocked the shit, and I sent him emails where I was like, congratulations, you unsubscribed to this. You unlocked this. Dear Evander, you unlocked this because your score was good. And then he just didn't know. And it's like, I get that, like, when you have, like, clients, and, like, they don't understand things, it's, like, your fault for, like, not explaining it. And, like, when you ask people who unsubscribe to answer your questions, you're supposed to, like, listen to them. But I was like, you fucking blew it, dude. So I wrote back, and I was like, thank you for answering that. You would ask, what were the things that you unlocked? And then I just, like, re-forwarded in the emails where the first line of them was, this is something you unlocked. What are we talking about? So, oh right, so I have this spreadsheet that I'd show you guys, but it's got like everybody's email address in it. And it figures out when people have unlocked stuff. And so if I signed up for MailChimp, I'm answering your question now. If I signed up for MailChimp, like I wouldn't know how to integrate that into MailChimp. And then also MailChimp wants to make your email look like it's a shitty email. It's like a shitty MailChimp email. And I like having my emails look like some Gmail piece of shit. And then it's like you gotta install, and I don't know, it's just a bunch of headache. Like Email Pro kind of works if it's like shitty and broken, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I send them out that have got typos, and like it doesn't matter. Like people will be like, oh, there's a typo. And it's like the whole fucking thing is a typo. Like Email Pro is a giant typo. So I don't want to have to deal with MailChimp. Do we have any live stream questions on Facebook?
No.
No, we did last time. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you. Thanks for those great pro questions. All right, let's write another one. What's compose C? Oh, but let's just explore a little bit. How could I forward an email?
Okay. Open the email you want to forward.
All right, so I could go into drafts, right?
Yeah, you're already there.
And I hit return now, or I'm already in it. So a lot of times I'll think of an email, and then I'll just save it as a draft. Say it again.
You can't forward draft.
What's self-nullify?
Right, good question. Bail me out right there. So sometimes I'll have an idea for an email, I'll just save it as a draft, and I thought self-nullify, that's an email. It's like that guy could do something with self-nullify. So I save it as a draft. So you're telling me I can't forward this?
No.
Oh, but how can I send it? How do I send an email with no shortcuts?
Command enter.
Alright.
But I think you have to be in the court body.
What do you want to say to your girlfriend, Courtney?
Hi. I see you.
It's a girlfriend, you gotta admit it. Not like the other stuff I had to love and stuff like that.
Kiss.
Right. Look, I was like saying you gotta be better than that, but it's okay. Alright, so how would we send this? Command enter, not command return?
You're not going to sign it from Jeff first.
Wait, sorry. What's that
Command
called?
enter should be the way Jeff signs
It's from
his
you.
emails.
Oh,
What about-
sign
What
I.
about you can?
Is there anything else you want to add?
Command enter. Type that.
Wait, but what's enter is return, you mean? Oh, it says, you're saying enter because it says enter over return. So you know what's going to be a drag? I have to, because every email I send has to get on the spreadsheet. So I have to remember to go into the spreadsheet and do +1.
I'll reply
It's such a
back
drag.
and tell you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that's perfect. Also, I gotta notate the one about my mom. Maybe I'll mark that as unread. Oh, that would be a great thing we could do. All right, command return. So how do I now send mail? How do I mark as read, unread?
Inbox.
Oh,
Yeah, so
inbox.
you want to go to your box.
Yeah, how do I mark as unread? Please subscribe as well.
Okay, so one way to do it is hit X to select it,
Yeah, that's cool.
and then hit period to open that thing,
You're so good at this.
and then hit down, and then enter, return.
That was pretty good. So what time is it? Does anyone know what time it is?
10:49.
10:49. Alright, I mean, I guess. There's no other questions?
Can we call somebody
What does that mean?
from Email Pro? See the phone?
Oh, the phone? Let's try that. That'll be the big finale.
I have a question.
Oh, great,
Yeah.
yeah.
Why haven't you automated all of your engagement score tracking?
Excuse me?
Why?
I didn't hear what you said.
Why haven't you automated all of your engagement score tracking?
Well, I actually have. So, I mean, are you
So
talking
you
about?
just said you would have had to go to the spreadsheet and add
Yeah,
it.
so the thing that's automated is like I have to input how many emails a person has gotten, but the spreadsheet knows then instantly what they've unlocked and what their score is. How could I, this would actually be great, how could I automate putting in Courtney +1?
I think there's some hooks in Gmail or something that hook into the spreadsheets that allows you to just do all that automatically. Also with the form submissions as well.
What?
Like when someone enters the form and refers a friend, it could automatically.
Oh, that
Add to
creates,
their
that
engagement.
creates a spreadsheet, but I don't know.
So you
how
could literally just have to do nothing to the.
that would,
engagement
I
tracker.
would love to do nothing. But I already know about the referral thing, it creates its own spreadsheet. How do I tell that, like, don't.
You can
click
link
those-
spreadsheets.
Huh?
You can like when that spreadsheet, when the form
Oh, I
spreadsheet,
can put that
gets
in so that can
updated.
be a different tab. Or
it'll
something.
that or when that spreadsheet gets updated, it'll
All
plus
right,
one.
that's pretty good.
Can you do it with all keyboard shortcuts?
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
next question.
Nice.
I mean, the whole internet you can use with keyboard shortcuts.
Is that true?
It's called accessibility. You can, yeah.
Why do you know so much about keyboard shortcuts?
Because I use them.
Alright, but like, why did you start using them a lot?
I don't remember when I started using them, or why, or how long it took me to learn them. I don't remember any of that. But I use them daily.
Thanks for that. Alright, I'd like to thank the Tank Theater, Colin, Kira, Rosalind for taking a chance on my wacky show. Thank you, Jeff, for doing the keyboards. Thanks everybody who came. Thanks Dan for doing the live stream, the videography. I appreciate that. Thanks everybody for being able to hang with the Email Pro and coming. I appreciate it. If you're like the 3 dudes who weren't in it and you want to sign up, just let me know. All right, bye.